Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for coming back to another broadcast over here at the Ellis Network. For my YouTube subscribers, you guys are able to sit here and watch the video. And for my SoundCloud users as well, you guys are able to listen to this podcast. So I got a broadcast and a podcast going on at once. We are multitasking. And what we're going to talk about in this video, guys, I brought out a video for my YouTube subscribers showing this pamphlet. And my SoundCloud subscribers, I have this pamphlet here called Overthrow. And it's Barack Obama's treacherous war on President Trump. Now, that my father brought me this pamphlet earlier today. If you guys notice over here on YouTube, I keep panning over here. This is where my microphone is. Let me tune. All right. So anyways, my father went to a doctor's appointment today. And he brings me this. He stopped over, had some coffee with me. We sat here. We chewed the shit up a little bit. Looked over my son's PC. I think my son already crashed his new PC. So anyways, he brought me this. He was at the doctor's office. And he brought it to me and said, you know, I figured you might want to read this. It's a good read from what I was reading inside the hospital, in the doctor's office waiting. And maybe you could share some of the information on your channel on YouTube. And then that's when I told him I'm over here on SoundCloud as well. So my YouTube subscribers, you guys already know about this. Everyone over on SoundCloud, you can come to my YouTube channel to look, but you're not really missing anything. YouTube's not getting any exclusive to this content, and SoundCloud's not getting left out. SoundCloud, you just don't have the video. You can't see my pretty face. Shame, ain't it? Right, YouTube? But anyways, let's go ahead and hop into this. First off, I want to say, extremely want to say, this is a pamphlet, okay? It's very good information for what we have seen in the past with the president elections, with the campaigning, and what's been going on in the background on Obama's side against President Trump and what everything the deep state's involved in. Again, most of you guys may speculate and call it, you know, fake news or whatnot, or call me a liar thinking I'm just reading off of someone's opinion. The cool thing about this, and here I'm going to show my YouTube. If you look at the bottom, those are web pages. Those are the actual URLs that we can get to show the information that's properly vetting what they are saying in these sections of the books. So for all of you guys that was hungry for more information on it, or you want to sit there and get on my YouTube channel, again, this is to the public, so I know I'm going to have some backlash from the left. You guys can take 5 minutes out of your time instead of trolling me. Get off your lazy asses and look these websites up. You know what? I'll even make it easier. After every time we're done talking about this, I will look the information up myself from these articles and copy and link them to the comment section, and also the comment section as well on SoundCloud. You guys can read everything. I'm not making stuff up. This stuff has been vetted based on their opinions, and this is where they're getting their information to base that opinion on. Again, we're going to be making multiple videos on this front, guys. The pamphlet is 44 pages long. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and read the whole thing. First off, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I cannot sit here and read this whole pamphlet without giving my opinions. If I do that, if I stop every couple minutes and I have an opinion, we're going to make this video roughly an hour, maybe an hour and a half long. And I don't have that kind of time. I know you guys don't have that kind of time to sit around and just listen to mumbo jumbo. So we're going to break it up into segments, okay? First segment, second segment, and depending on how long each segment is, I might be able to cram in 1 or 2 segments. So, again, based on the information on where we leave off and where we pick up the next day, we determine how quick we get through this book. Again, I'm going to read it to you guys, and in between as I'm reading, I'm giving you guys my opinions. Feel free, whether or not you agree with it or disagree with it, feel free to please express your opinion. With that being said, I will not entertain comments as, you know, hateful. Okay, we're all here to express opinions regardless of side. All right, no trolling. I don't want no rude remarks. Everyone try to understand from everyone and try to see if we can do something to come along. I miss the America that it was. Nowadays, you guys have the ideologies and what's been forgotten in America culture. And what's been forgotten is the stuff that America loved traditionally is not being taught to this new age generation of Americans. And that's where you're having this whole bickering back and forth between generations. And we've also never seen an election as big as this has been. And when I say that, I'm not talking like monumental. I mean, even though it was monumental, President Trump, against all odds, has come out and won the electorate. Or not the electorate, but the electorals. He won, not the electors. He was president-elect. He won. Okay? I'm sorry, I'm not very politically... I can't even speak right now. Correct? Whatever. Okay? Anyways, let's go ahead and hop into this. Now, for you guys, Matthew Vadum, he's an author. He's the one that wrote this. The preface is by David Horowitz. And I know, as soon as I said that, some of you guys were like, I know that name. And in fact, I did have political correctness. That's what I was trying to say. Bam! Just like that, we get back. See, I corrected myself. Better late than never. All right, so anyways, David Horowitz. He's an American writer. He's an American conservative writer. He is the founder and current president of the think tank, the David Horowitz Freedom Center, editor and center's publication Front Page Magazine. So he's very well known. He has multiple books out. Same as Matthew Vadum. He's an author. Both of these guys, again, this pamphlet has articles, websites that vet their information and whatnot. Now, I'm going to give you guys the tools to go look the information up yourselves. But it's not my job to sit here and speak and waste my time to try to change your mind. Only you can do that. The only way you're going to do that is doing it yourself. I can talk all day till I'm blue in the face about this, guys. Doesn't mean I'm going to change your opinion until you take that step to get up and you go do the research. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I'm so sick and tired of people being manipulated and brainwashed all over fake lies, fake assumptions, and nonsense, and going out and protesting and rioting and destroying our communities over lies, over lazy, non-educated people. And I say that because these people ain't getting education. They're getting brainwashed. Again, we're going to get into this. Now, the first part is the preface. All right, and that's all I'm going to get through with this video. The preface is just a summary of what this book's about. And there is no websites in the preface. It's roughly about 2.5 pages. And then we'll get into the main book itself tomorrow. But let's go ahead and get into this and see what they say. I mean, this is, you guys know here at the Ellis Network, I always say, if we want to understand what's going on in the present, you got to take in consideration what has happened, what has been said in the past, to understand where we're at in the present, and to get a better understanding to what to expect in that future. Okay, I don't speak just for the now. I think of the, I think ahead. I remember the past. So again, let's look into the past of what's been going on within the first year of President Trump and some of the stuff that he had to deal with. It is not a proper role for an opposition party in a democracy to mount resistance to a duly elected government and press for its overthrow at the very outs of its tenure. But that is precisely what Democrats have done in the first months of Trump's administration. For the second time in its history, the Democratic has opted to secede from the Union and its social contract. Second time. First time was the start of the Civil War. And I think when you guys remember hearing about this, California threatened it, and there was a few other states that threatened it. And then that's where the whole Articles of Succession, Civil War came up, talking about it, fear-mongering. There was people fear. And guys, I'll be honest, I was no different. I wasn't spreading the fear-mongering. I wasn't even on YouTube at the time. I wasn't here on SoundCloud. Over here on SoundCloud, this is very new to me. YouTube, I've been here for about 7 months. After President Trump has become president of the United States, that's when I decided to make my channel. So we have seen, other states talking about that they want to secede from the United States. And I think the whole idea of a civil war really came from that whole idea. Again, what we know from the past and learning from the Civil War is you had to have states secede from the Union and then wanted to be called something else. And that's why we had the Articles of Succession. Read it. It's a bill that they brought up to Congress and the Senate for them to succeed. Okay? Read it. Civil War wasn't all about slavery. There was a lot of other things going on within the Articles of Succession to consider. Slavery was a big part of it. Big part of it. But it wasn't 100% all of it. This time there is not going to be an actual civil war because the federal government is now so powerful that whoever controls it will be decided the outcome. The possessions of an inconceivable conflict are still present, but they are channeled into political confrontation over the executive power. In launching their resistance, Democrats rejected the honeymoon normally afforded to the incoming president. Until now, this tradition has functioned as something of a sacred political right. Campaigns are by nature diverse, and they inevitably exaggerate the differences between factions and electorals. The presidential honeymoon is designed to reunite the contending factions as contestants of a shared constitutional republic. It also allows an incoming president to take his place as chief executive of all people, to have all cabinet confirmed, and to launch his agendas before the normal contentions of a democracy resume. It ratifies the peaceful transition of power and reasserts the principle that the Americans we are one. But according to Gallup organization, the normal duration of a presidential honeymoon in recent times has been 7 months. The Democrats didn't even give Trump 7 seconds. While he was president-elect, they were already attacking him as a racist, a white nationalist, anti-American, and anti-Muslim. Also an anti-democratic fascist, a would-be dictator. Okay, so, white nationalist. Why out of nowhere would everyone think Trump is a white nationalist? Could have been, during his campaign trail, there was that one leader that was had some sort of ties to the Ku Klux Klan, wanted to endorse Trump. That's when everyone started spewing, oh, just because someone wanted to endorse him, he's a white nationalist, he's a racist, blah, blah, blah. But don't you guys remember President Trump coming out elsewhere on his campaign trail, disavowing that contribution, saying he would never accept donations from a racist group, especially one of the Ku Klux Klan? I remember that. If he is such a white nationalist, I don't think President Trump would keep Ben Carson, even though now Democratic leaders are even calling Ben Carson a white nationalist just because he's hanging out with President Trump. No, they just agree on a bunch of different agendas and they're working together to get it done. But everyone wants to call him a white nationalist, all because of, again, my personal opinion, that whole story came up. It all was coming out when that person made the endorsement, when he wanted to endorse. But President Trump also came out and said, that's an endorsement I'm not willing to accept. And he's not going to. He's just not going to. All right. No one wants to talk about the fact that if he was such a racist, here's a perfect example. I've seen, if President Trump wasn't running president, you can guarantee you how many celebrities of different race and cultures would be lining up at the Trump Tower to get him for a New Year's party. He wasn't racist then. Hell, Snoop Dogg was even on his show, The Apprentice. He's a racist. Why would he even want to promote a black man on his show? No doubt that helped, Snoop Dogg's credibility. He was slumping. Snoop Dogg's old news. He's trying to get back in the public eye. Same as Eminem. Eminem, you should have just left it where it was. But the minute here's the thing. You ain't no better. When you got to take your opinions and your ideas and say, you know what, fuck my supporters. Fuck everyone that supports President Trump. I don't want y'all as fans. And he ain't the only one that's out there doing that. No, look at how many movie stars. Will Smith's coming out. Demi Moore, I seen earlier today, that Demi Moore doesn't want Trump supporters. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I'm seeing that's being said to social media is putting out. Anti-immigrant. Listen. We have a vetting process that was elected by Americans years ago, even before I was born. Okay, I'm 32. I was born in 85. Probably before you was born. These laws were put into place for a reason. Voted by the American people. You know what it is? Those law enforcements, those vetting processes, the whole shindig, ICE, immigration. They wasn't upheld for the last 30 fucking years, 40 years. So now you got this whole idea of President Trump wanting to enforce immigration laws that were put into place to protect Americans. He wants to start enforcing them. Then the left, the Democrats, they're all fighting it. They're all pro-immigration. They want everyone to come here. And I agree, everyone should be able to have the right to come here, but you have to do it legally. These laws were already on the books before any of you guys. The only reason why it's such a big stink now is President Trump wants to take those laws and start using them. But no one knows about that. Why? Because education's not being taught like it should be. Alright? It's not being taught telling you guys about these laws. Everyone, nowadays you see it more and more in these classrooms. Teachers are pushing their opinions on students. I can't tell you guys how many videos I've seen on social media, whether or not it be Twitter, Facebook, and forgive me guys, Facebook is one of the biggest propaganda machines anywhere. Social media propaganda machine out there. It's so unbiased, just like CNN. Freedom of speech, but yet they want to censor everything. I just seen a part, something about they're going to start censoring swear words. What? I highly doubt that's true because that's freedom of speech and freedom of expression. But we've already seen how Facebook's been acting within the last 2 years. It's been very touch and go, with what you see and what you do. Certain things that you can see, you're like, why am I watching this? But if you get naked, and it is what it is. I mean, it's really crazy. So anti-immigrant, we're all for, illegal immigrants to come over here legally, but they have to be a productive part of society, guys. We have illegal immigrants over here that's killing American people. It's taking the American money out of this country. You have illegal immigrants selling drugs. Crime is really high in some of these neighborhoods. And they don't do nothing for the system except spend the American taxpayers' dollars. Especially in these sanctuary cities. They go there for a safe haven. Oh, I'm an illegal. I can get caught with, 3 keys of cocaine. I'm in a sanctuary city. I'll be safe. I ain't going nowhere. I got a slap on the wrist. But hey, I'm an American citizen. I paid into the system for 50 fucking years and I get pulled over for a joint. I'm going to jail. Fucking retarded. And again, guys, I'm sorry for the swearing. That's not normally me, but we're also going to start flexing our tones a little bit here and there. So, and the Muslims, the anti-Muslim. You guys remember President Trump coming out and saying he's wanting to ban 7 nations known to harbor terrorists. Not all of them. How many Muslim countries are out there, guys? Don't tell me those 7 nations was all Muslim countries. I know for a fact that's not true. That's not true at all. Just the 7 that has the highest probability of having terrorist activities within them countries. Think about it. His election was called illegitimate, the alleged agent of Russian conspiracy. This meme swiftly masterized into one of the most bizarre witch hunts in our political history. A red scare without actual reds, in which Democrat after Democrat stepped forward to allege that Trump had colluded with Vladimir Putin to steal the election. But I think now more and more we see it every day that they seem to be not just doing that, but the Democrats and the Clinton Foundation, and if you look into what's really going on with Uranium One and Fusion GPS, the Democrats paid to have fake dossier stories on President Trump. If you guys remember P-Gate, when they were trying to say that President Trump paid 2 prostitutes and stayed at a hotel where Obama went and then had the prostitutes piss all over the bed. That's coming out now that was false. And that there's paper trails tying to Fusion GPS. Now, if you guys are just tuning in to Fusion GPS and really getting into that, remember that. Remember that. That might be a stepping stone for you to keep an eye out for. Trump did not get confirmation hearings for the team he was hoping to put into place. He got a witch hunt instead. A series of attempted character assassinations directed at his nominees, most outrageously his candidate for general His candidate for Attorney General, Senator Jeff Sessions, was smeared as a racist by one Democratic senator after another. I lost my spot. And it begun with Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, yet Sessions' public career reflected values that were quite the opposite. It included service as the Attorney General of Deep State South, in which capacity he had prosecuted the Ku Klux Klans and desegregated public schools. These acts reflected his actual commitment to civil rights. Schumer and his colleagues had served alongside Sessions for 10 and 20 years and knew very well that their accusations were defamatory and false, but they persisted in them anyway. Oh boy. So that one would mistake their hostile intent, the Democrats' attacks were accompanied by calls for Trump's impeachment. Despite the fact that he had hardly been in office, these were echoed in massive street demonstrations, protesting, rioting, organized and funded by core Democratic groups, which featured chants of "Not My President," claims by celebrity speaker that President Trump's election was worse than being raped, and added wishes to blow up the White House. Each protest, no matter its official organizing premises, were orchestrated to underscore the identity-driven accusations that the Trump regime was anti-woman, anti-black, anti-Muslim, and anti-immigrant. Trump and his supporters were termed anthemized as members of a hostile tribe, white nationalists. I've heard that before. Oh, you support Trump? You're a racist. Automatically, without even talking to someone. Again, judging books by its cover. Behind the Democratic rage is the conviction that Trump, the administration, represents reactory, a throwback in the status quo ante before Obama began fundamentally transforming the United States. As he promised on the eve of his election, the new order towards which progressives think that they are marching and called social justice. The Democrats and hierarchy of privileges they offer groups basis, ethnicity, skin color, gender, social justice. It defines the society they intend to create, which in their eyes is morally threatened by Trump regime and conservative supporters. That is nuts. That is nuts. But if you guys read and you guys sit there and think, you know, you could probably even go back into some of my videos. It's really insane. Again, guys, there's no articles in this video. That was just a preface of what's going on. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we're going to read a little bit more, give you guys my input on some more, and that's when the facts will start dropping. Okay, guys. Again, I appreciate the support. Share the videos. Comment, like, do whatever you guys do. Just let me know you guys support what we do over here at the Ellis Network. All right, for everyone on YouTube, I'll see you later. SoundCloud, I'm out.